Welcome back once again to the Imaginary Gallery. It is TJ, your host. We are continuing in the third installment of Leaving the Abuser. Once again, referencing Lundy Bancroft's lovely book, Why Does He Do That? Inside the Minds of Angry and Controlling Men or Women or anyone. This topic for tonight is how the abusive person views separation. From our previous video, we talked about Van. Well, Van's internal process and the destructive behavior it led him to captures the essence of how an abusive man or woman perceives the ending of a relationship. He wants us to look at the central elements of Van's outlook. And if you don't know who Van is, go back a video to the second one in this series. Quotes. Abuse is no reason to end a relationship. Van was unwilling to accept the fact that his horrifying mistreatment of Gail was adequate reason for her to want to leave him. Why? Well, first, he believed that the pain Gail sometimes caused him during their relationship outweighed any abuse that he had done to her. If Van can convince himself that he has an even balance sheet despite his severe physical assaults, imagine how easily a purely psychological abuse person can do so, even though the reality is that emotional abuse can do just as much or more damage. Second, Van believed that it was unreasonable to expect a man to be non-abusive unless his partner never ever hurt his feelings or failed to cater to his every need. He felt that we were being unfair and unrealistic about a man's inherent nature, as if we were asking a tiger to become a vegetarian. Without saying so directly, he revealed that his attitude is a woman needs to accept the fact that a certain amount of abuse just comes with the territory of being involved with another person. Unless, of course, the partner can be perfect. When I promise to be kinder in the future, that should be enough. No matter how many times in the past Van's broken his promises to change his behaviors, he still believed that this time Gail should see that he really meant it this time, and she should give him another chance. There's no limit in his mind as to how many more chances he should be getting, and he felt entitled to an endless supply. To make things worse, Van felt that Gail was supposed to accept his rose-colored vision of the future, even though he was simultaneously blaring loud red flag warning signals that he had not changed. Bancroft's clients demand forgiveness while continuing to insult, threaten, demand immediate responses, attend only to their own needs, and way more. According to his mindset, she should believe that his abuse has stopped when he says it has stopped, regardless of what she sees in front of her own eyeballs. There is no limit to how much she should be willing to work on the relationship. The abusive person feels entitled to end a relationship anytime it feels like it, but it assigns no such privilege to the partner. Ain't that the truth? Around breakup time, Bancroft's clients grouse bitterly to him along the lines of,
nowadays people just throw relationships out in the trash as soon as it gets a little bit difficult. There's no commitment anymore to sticking it out and making things work.
I guess our marriage vows didn't mean anything to her.
She says she cares so much about our kids, but it's no big deal to her if they've got a broken home.
She's prepared to just throw everything away that we had because she found some other guy.
No lady in any of Bancroft's cases has ever left a man the first time it behaved abusively. Not that doing so would be wrong. But by the time she moves to end this relationship, she's usually lived with years of verbal assault and control, and has requested way too many numbers of times that the partner stop cutting her down and or frightening her. In most cases, she has also requested that he stop drinking his liquor or that he go to counseling. or talk to a clergy person, or take some other step to get some kind of help. She's usually left him a few times, or at least has started to leave, and then has gotten back together with it. Don't any of these actions on her part count as demonstrating her commitment levels? Has she ever done enough and gained the right to protect herself in the abuser person's mind? The answer to these questions is no. Once again, the abusive person's double standards rule every day. He doesn't consider his chronic verbal abuse or even his nasty violence to constitute a failure to love and cherish. But her decision to move away for safety does. His affairs automatically deserve forgiveness in his twisted mind, whereas any affairs she may have, he considers to be proof of her low moral character and lack of caring. And his exposure of the children to his degrading and bullying of their mother doesn't keep him from awarding himself the title of child protector, the one who wants to give these kids a stable family life while their selfish mother tries to split them all apart. Ha! She is still responsible for my feelings and well-being. In the abusive person's self-serving value system, the lady may be responsible for his needs and feelings even after she declares that she is not the partner anymore. So if he, for example, loses a job, or his new trick/fling doesn't work out, or his mama becomes ill, he still feels entitled to have her take care of him emotionally. In particular, he tends to make her endlessly responsible for his feelings from their relationship or from their breakup. The relationship is over when I say it's over. Bancroft repeatedly runs into the following scenario. A new client in the abuse program is describing one of the most serious incidents of abuse, as they're all required to do, and he excuses his own actions by saying, well, it all happened because I found out she was cheating on me. When Bancroft contacts the lady, however, he finds out that although he may be right about her seeing another man, she and the client were broken up at that time. In other words, in the abusive person's mind, any relationship that she has is considered an affair if it happens during a period when he still wishes that they were together, because he feels entitled to determine when she can be free to see other people. She belongs to me. The abusive person's dehumanizing view of his partner as a personal possession can grow even nastier and fugglier as the relationship draws to a close. Bancroft sometimes finds it extraordinarily difficult to get a client to remember at this point that the partner is actually a human being with rights, with feelings and emotions, rather than an offending object to destroy. At worst, the abusive person's efforts to reestablish its ownership may include following her and monitoring her movements, stalking, scaring people who try to assist her, threatening any men that she is interested in seeing, kidnapping the children, and physically attacking her or anybody who's close to her. For abused ladies, separation is a time of particularly high risk of homicide or attempted homicide, which can sometimes involve murderous assaults on the new lover, the kids, or on other people that she cares about. Several studies have found that mistreatment of ladies by abusive people tends to continue for a substantial period after separation, and very often escalates to levels worse than those when they were actually together. Particularly common in post-separation is rape or other forms of sexual assault, which conveys a powerful message of ownership. You are my object, I own you, and I will do what I want to do to you when I want to do it, regardless of how you feel about it. And Bancroft says they feel, you continue to be mine, and I retain my rights to your body until I decide otherwise. If you're concerned that your partner may be capable of extreme violence, even if it hasn't been violent before in the past, Bancroft suggests that you take careful safety precautions.
I am the narcopath and you ain't.
I know after our little affair ended, you probably had a lot of questions, and you probably wondered, how could a lying, cheating whore like me land a new beau so quickly and seem to be so happy in the process? He sent me flowers too, by the way, just so you know. I just said the key word, lie. I know, you used to always tell me I was a liar. Honey, cat's out of the bag. I am a first-class, world-class liar. I know I used to always tell you how wrong you were. Well, I said it, and that's the truth. 'Cause I know I wouldn't be too marketable if I were to meet a new boy, for example, and he were to ask what happened with my last relationship, especially if you happen to be around. I know, because you're thinking in your ways. You're honest. You tell the truth. Well, honey, I don't. I told you before. If the truth hurts me, I'm not going to use it. So, scratch the truth. So when I met my new beau, and he happened to naturally ask about you and who my ex was and why it ended, well, let's just take a trip down memory lane. Remember when you and I had that same conversation about my ex prior to you? What did I tell you? Exactly. Bingo. I told you he lied to me, he cheated on me, he replaced me with another woman, and I was so heartbroken. And you bought it, and that made you want to nurture me. Well, honey, I'm a one-trick pony in some respects, and I used the same story on you. I didn't tell him I found somebody new and replaced you. I told him that you abused me, that you lied to me, that you cheated on me. And remember that time you caught me in that other guy's truck naked? Well, I took that story and reversed it and told him that I found you in some guy's truck. Guy's truck. Bag! That really made an impression on him. And it made him love me that much more. And we are happy together today. And if you dare try to tell him I said any of this, I'll just tell him, like I said before, you're crazy. You're making up stuff. You're just jealous because you want me back. He'll buy it. So don't even try it. But yes, I know I wasn't marketable, as I really was. I don't deal with that kind of reality. I alter it. I change it. I make it fit the situation. So, now maybe you'll understand how I could be so successful in my new romance, because I pretended our little history never existed the way you remembered it. And if you tried to tell him the way you remembered it, again, I would just say, told you he's crazy. He cheated and lied, and he's making this stuff up. He doesn't want you and me to be happy together, I'd tell the new guy. And he would buy every second of it. So that's how I'm successful. It worked on you, didn't it? Well, there you go.
Oh, and remember that time that you called me a whore because you found my panties that you actually had made for me in somebody else's truck?
I told you I don't know how they got there. Someone must have stolen them. And you called me a whore anyway? The fact was, I met that guy at the mall and he was hot and he offered it. But I couldn't tell you, so I put on the saddest face. Told you I couldn't believe after all the time we spent together you would have the nerve to think I could lie and go off with some stranger. And I stormed out of your home. Well, guess where I went? I went to Mr. Truckman's house, and we did it again and again. Then later, I showed back up at your place, saying, I'm so sad. Oh, I've missed you. And I got you in there, too, in my Virginia. My Virginia is shredded.